Akutsu was an ugly, disgusting little demon sent to school on Earth. However, his depressing life changes when he meets an angel girl, but rizzes her with his demon horn instead. Our story begins with the students in class talking about a new transfer student. Moments later, the bald teacher, Shiramura, walks in and introduces the ugly Akutsu. Even though he was balding at 16, he reminded everyone he was a human just like them. He felt extreme sympathy for him since he was bald too. Akutsu then introduced himself like a zombie, but Shiramura noticed the price tag and yanked the wig off, revealing a handsome devil. Shiramura felt insulted. He claimed the Bald Brotherhood didn't play around, but Akutsu's excuse was that a miracle happened, and it instantly grew back. After an awful first impression, he walked toward his seat where he encountered the most beautiful human he'd ever seen. When Lily smiled at him, his glizzy began throbbing and his heart dropped. During class, he began fantasizing about having her as a girlfriend and her asking for the pipe. He thought about outright asking her to crack but didn't want to sound like Diddy. Moments later, the final boss of Simps, Kensaku, approached and tried to rizz her into being his girlfriend. However, she gave the loser boy no play, but he kept begging until another classmate named Yuya told Akutsu his friend Kensaku had been a corn dog since elementary, trying to rizz up any girl he saw. They then took Akutsu outside because they wanted to be his friend. But all Akutsu could think about was making cream pies with the blonde cutie. Kensaku warned him she was a tough cookie to crack since he'd been tragically rejected 5 times already. After school, on the way home, Akutsu wondered how to approach Lily when she suddenly bumped into him. Shocked, Akutsu asked why she was walking out of a shady alley. Lily explained she'd gotten lost before formally introducing herself. At that moment, Akutsu noticed the tear in her uniform, but when he questioned it, Lily blamed it on their little bump before inviting him to have some tea. This completely surprised him, but he accepted, so they started walking together. Several moments later, they reached an intersection, and Lily walked out without realizing Truck-kun was coming for her. Just before her isekai story began, Akutsu jumped in front with his aura, and Lily saw his demonic markings. As people began gathering, Lily smirked, then grabbed him to make a quick escape to a nearby park. She thanked him for saving her, then asked what he really was, since a regular human wouldn't have been able to do that. After giving it some thought, Akutsu chose to trust her beautiful face and admitted he was a demon. His objective in coming to the human realm was to find a young, charismatic leader for the demon realm because they were currently at war with the angels. He'd chosen her, so he asked Lily if she'd want to visit the demon realm to help him boost morale for the war. Lily got nervous and asked if he was sure she had what it took, but Akutsu assured her her beauty was perfect. All of a sudden, he got snatched up in holy chains and tossed to the ground. Lily laughed at him because he'd just revealed himself to his ancestral bullies, an angel. After mocking his lack of intelligence, she explained she'd just finished exorcising a demon in the alley before they met, which was why her uniform was torn. Upon hearing that, Akutsu promised to make her pay for harming his kinsman and broke out of the chains before attacking. Lily then admitted he was pretty strong since no demon before him had broken her chains. She then bound him with chains again, making it even harder to escape. After summoning a great scythe, she offered to let him live if he betrayed hell and revealed their plans. But Akutsu refused to give her a single thing, so she decided to finish him off. However, just as he was about to accept his fate, Lily blew on his face and offered to free him if he became her slave and helped her with her work. She even prepared a special collar just for him as well, but Akutsu refused. Fortunately for him, Lily pinned him down by sitting on his demonic carrot and forced on the collar before playing with an open campfire while Akutsu lay there pathetically. Moments later, he got back up and asked what she wanted. Lily told him he had to help her hunt down demons. When Akutsu refused, Lily was shocked because she'd always believed demons hated each other. After explaining they had good relationships, Akutsu told her to exorcise him instead because he refused to betray his fellow demons. However, while trying to remove the collar, he suddenly collapsed, so Lily explained the collar drained all of a demon's power and gave her full control over them. At that moment, his arm began moving on its own, but before he could do anything, the collar turned him into a soulless simp just like Kensaku. She suddenly complained about being thirsty, so he ran to the store with a zesty pose. But when he returned, he revealed he'd kept them warm with his abs. Lily got frustrated by this and poured it all over him before making him create a fancy chair. She then offered to reward his loyalty by giving him anything he wanted. But instead of asking to clap some buns, Akutsu got on all fours and begged her for a spanking. As Lily struggled to come to terms with this new kink, Akutsu desperately tried to regain control. Just then, a cop tried to arrest them for public indecency, so they made a quick escape and found themselves in an alley. Again, Lily asked Akutsu if he'd accept her proposal, but he still didn't want to help her hunt demons. She then claimed he couldn't say no anymore, so when he asked her to exorcise him again, she refused. She even offered to reward him with juicy melon squeezes, but the ditty in Akutsu's eyes changed her mind. After a few threats, Akutsu agreed to let her know when demons were nearby since they could sense each other. After accepting, Lily promised to reform him from a disgusting demon into a regular person once they were finished. Moments later, the cop returned, so they made another quick escape. Later that night, Akutsu returned home and began complaining about the collar, but after reaching for it, he was shocked to see it was gone. At that moment, Lily sent him a text explaining it was now a part of his body, so he couldn't get rid of it. Additionally, it left behind an ugly tattoo. This crushed Akutsu because he'd planned to flex his demonic glizzy for the baddies at the beach. While he continued crashing out, Lily reported to her higher-ups and planned to use Akutsu until heaven acknowledged her again. A few months back, Akutsu was summoned by his fine superior, Liz. She explained that even though the angels were actively waging war on demonkind, their citizens were casually living their lives like sheep. This was why they needed a charismatic person to rally them up so they could retaliate. After seeing memes of angels bullying demons, Akutsu devoted his life and promised to succeed in his mission. Before leaving, she gave him the magical scalp to aid in his disguise. Back in the present, while brushing his teeth, he was thinking about a way to stop Lily when he saw a romantic show and came up with a diabolical plan. The next day in school, Kensaku and Yuya were in the hall when a strong gust of wind hit, and Akutsu made a dramatic entrance looking like the man your sister wants to glaze. Shocked, they asked how he got so handsome, and Akutsu claimed he wanted to steal all their girlfriends. Just then, Lily walked in behind him, so he locked in because he'd actually spent all night practicing just to make her fall in love with him. As he turned around, he was stunned by her beauty because Lily apparently had the same plan. Last night, after seeing the same show, she decided to turn herself into an even hotter baddie just to riz Akutsu into submission. However, after he said good morning, Lily became flustered and wondered when he'd gotten so shiny. Just then, they both began to suspect each other, but turned into Goku and Vegeta until the bell rang. In class, Akutsu dropped his eraser hoping to get some top with his touch, but when she responded with an adorable face, he received the first L. However, after celebrating, he picked a hair off her head with enough riz to make her floodgates open. Lily surrendered the buns immediately and promised vengeance. Later in the afternoon, the teacher asked her to carry the stack to the office, so she went to ask Akutsu with an adorable expression that completely shocked him. However, he responded by revealing his roided gym bro gains and carrying all the notes, which made Lily's angelic kitten soaking wet. As the day developed, they continued the Kaguya Shirogane battle until Lily made a bold move by tripping and falling into Akutsu's demonic glizzy. This made his team rocket launch immediately, but the teacher noticed and kicked them both out for flirting in class. A few days later, Lily became pissed because Akutsu was late. So when some bums tapped her shoulders, she crashed out only to find two soulless ghouls. When they asked to hang out, she cutely said she was waiting for a friend, but they kept persisting until Akutsu showed up, telling the nerds not to treat women like microscope slides. They began glazing him for being cool, so Lily grabbed a statue and crushed his skull, causing the lowly simps to run away. While walking with her, Akutsu noticed she'd gotten dressed and asked why, so she explained she didn't go out very often. He then said she looked a lot thinner than usual, but this pissed her off even more. However, Akutsu didn't even notice, and continued complimenting her until Lily threatened to use the collar to make him crack the homeroom teacher in front of everyone in class. As she walked away, Akutsu didn't even notice the civilians making IG reels of his shame because he was thinking of a way to help Lily without betraying demons. Elsewhere, she informed him there had been multiple reports of dog attacks on women, and she suspected it was a demon. Akutsu said that's racist, but Lily insisted on it. She showed him a map displaying all the incidents before asking the range of his demon sensor. After he explained he could only sense powerful demons if they weren't suppressing their power, Lily called him useless. Just then, Akutsu sensed a menacing stare and told Lily, so they began their search. After a while, they decided to get a snack at a nearby cafe. As Lily stuffed herself, Akutsu warned her about eating like a pig or she wouldn't be able to take his glizzy. As she started crashing out, he sensed the same dark sensation watching them and finally warned her about it. However, as they checked their surroundings, Kensaku started banging his head on the glass window, crying about how his new friend was on a date with his imaginary girlfriend. Afterwards, he apologized for the misunderstanding, and Lily explained she was just showing the new kid around. After Kensaku admitted he'd been stalking them all day, Akutsu realized he was responsible for the diddy sensations he'd been feeling. Suddenly, a girl named Yuka walked in and asked why he was avoiding her. Kensaku then introduced Lily and Akutsu, but after seeing them, Yuka called Lily a midget. She got pissed, but fortunately controlled her anger. Then Yuka greeted Akutsu like a normal person. When Kensaku explained they were childhood friends, Yuka declared herself his girlfriend, which shocked everyone. Lily then asked Kensaku why he'd confessed to her 5 times when he was already clapping buns. Her words crushed Yuka's heart, so she wanted answers, and dragged him away by the ear. Afterwards, Akutsu started wondering if Kensaku's stalking was what he was actually sensing. Moments later, Lily decided to call it a day because she was exhausted, then reminded him to call her if he sensed any demons. Later that night, Akutsu experienced a dream where Lily ordered him to exorcise a fellow demon with her. The following day, in class, Yuka suddenly popped up to speak with Lily, which surprised her. After apologizing for yesterday and admitting she was actually Kensaku's childhood friend, she asked if they could be friends, and Lily accepted but secretly wanted to take off her head. After Yuka left, Akutsu checked on Lily, but she was infuriated because Yuka kept making sleazy comments about her height. Later on the roof, Akutsu wondered why Lily was showing up in his dreams when Yuya and Kensaku appeared and asked what was wrong. They noticed he wasn't himself that day at all, and since he couldn't reveal his or Lily's real identity, Akutsu claimed he'd been dreaming about a random MILF and it was affecting his sleep. After they both started clowning him, they explained he was clearly in love, but the thought of being in love with an angel disgusted him. Kensaku admitted he had no riz whatsoever, but Akutsu was confused and asked about his date with Yuka. However, Kensaku explained he was just helping her shop, and every baddie he'd ever tried to crack was scared off by Yuka herself. Much later, Akutsu received a text to go demon hunting with Lily, but his excuse was that his tummy hurt. After a few hours of searching, Lily took a break, but Yuka suddenly spotted her and asked what she was doing there, which disgusted her. Lily explained she was just spending some time alone, but Yuka was doing the same, then suggested hanging out together instead. To avoid confrontation, Lily agreed, so Yuka took her to the mall. Once inside, she picked an outfit for Lily, but it was several sizes too large. When Yuka teased her about it, Lily realized she was using this opportunity to roast her height, so she returned the favor by choosing an outfit that was too small for Yuka's massive melons. It hit her in the soul, because instead of calling a truce, Yuka spent the rest of the afternoon sending shots at her height. When they stopped at a photo booth to take friendship photos, Lily's innocence made Yuka slowly reconsider her opinion about her. In the afternoon, they stopped at a restaurant to eat, and Yuka finally admitted she enjoyed her company. After Lily also agreed, she assured Yuka she didn't have any feelings for Kensaku. Yuka said she still considered her competition because she was hotter than a 10 out of 10. Moments later, Lily received a text from Akutsu, but Yuka suddenly remembered she had something to do, so she left Lily a gift for little people like her. Lily got pissed once more, but decided to let it slide because she'd begun to like her. As she left, Akutsu ran to meet her because she'd been sending him gooner texts all day, and he didn't want his enemy giving him a reason to goon. When he finally caught her, Lily reminded him he could have just texted back. But then he sensed a demon, and Lily noticed. However, she told him to give her the location and wait while she went to change. Much later, Lily tracked down the filthy demon dog and confronted it with her great scythe. Akutsu hid in the corner while Lily fought the wolf until he asked why she was even hunting him. Lily said she'd heard reports of dog attacks on women in the area recently, so she asked if he was the one committing misogynistic street crimes. The wolf said he couldn't answer that unless she defeated him in battle first. He then revealed his true form, turning into a humanoid wolf that looked like he'd just attended a Diddy party, which even cut his stats by 50%. It was laughable. After Lily attacked him for being Diddy's dog, Akutsu came to pat his buns, but the wolf realized he was actually a demon and started asking why he was working with an angel. The wolf was confused, and since Akutsu couldn't explain himself, he ordered him to attack Lily to prove his loyalty to the demon race. Lily warned that if he tried that, she'd exorcise him too. Akutsu tried to stop them by teaching them about love, but it was clear they thought he was a soft wuss, so they ignored him and continued fighting like Goku and Vegeta. Akutsu then pulled out a microphone and started saying freaky poems to teach them about love, giving both of them turns to speak. But Lily started clowning him, only saying she regretted meeting him because he only brought her stress. He kept going with the poems like the depressing loser he was. The wolf watched this and felt extreme sympathy for him, but then realized he was doing all this just to stop Lily's rampage on him. With tears running down his ugly face, he told Akutsu it was enough and he'd stand down. Moments later, Lily asked why he'd been attacking people, and he admitted he was a sad, lonely loser too. But one day, he started liking leggings and couldn't control his inner gooner, so he began attacking women who wore them. Outraged, Lily decided to exorcise him on the spot, and as her magic exterminated his body, he thanked Akutsu for being a thoughtful demon. However, after the spell, Akutsu realized Lily had just turned him into an ugly puppy. They then took pictures with him and called in an animal rescue to take him in. But Akutsu was confused as to what had transpired. She then explained she'd only sealed his negative thoughts and powers and turned him into a normal dog. She also revealed that she never actually killed the demons she captured, though other angels might. Akutsu asked about the fight, and she revealed her attacks were illusions, and she'd been holding back because she didn't want to hurt him. He then asked about the demon she exorcised in episode 1, but she showed him a cute selfie with it afterwards, changing his opinion about her. He'd always thought angels were worthless scum, so now he started wondering if she was different. Lily then said she wanted to go eat and would treat him as a reward, but noticed he was acting odd. Akutsu said she seemed kinder than he expected, but that made her proud, which confused him a bit. His words actually meant a lot to her. People always said she was kind, but this was the first time someone had said it after seeing her true self. Sometime later, she was on top of him about to crack, but he woke up in class and realized it was his teacher's lips, who was mad at him for sleeping and proceeded to commit student abuse. Moments later, Akutsu took a look at Lily, and after his heart fluttered, he realized he'd fallen for her. Later at home, he continued daydreaming about her until someone rang the doorbell. It was Liz. But as she excitedly explained her sudden night visit, Akutsu slammed the door, thinking he must be high. However, after checking again, he let her in and apologized. She said she'd come to show off her perfect figure and check in about the mission, but he realized he'd forgotten about it. He had found a candidate, but she had personality issues, so he wanted to keep looking, and Liz wanted to help, but it was time to sleep. Akutsu immediately started growing in his pants because he'd never had a girl in his room. But Liz came prepared with her own sleeping bag to keep the office kitty safe. Despite that, Akutsu found it difficult to sleep, and like that wasn't enough, Liz started talking about glizzy cream in her sleep. The next morning, Liz reminded him that they needed to train, which actually meant rizzing up baddies to kidnap them to become a demon idol. But Akutsu tragically had no game and was ugly. It was pathetic. In his next attempt, he talked to a girl with a pet and made up a story about a lost puppy. She gave him her number in case she found it. Liz praised him but suggested using a different approach for other people because some people hated dogs. Moments later, he encountered a wild Yuka who made fun of him for rizzing up girls but agreed to follow him because she was bored. They went to a bar and ordered juice, but he didn't know what to say, so when he signaled to Liz, he heard her reading and realized she was a useless woman, so she couldn't help. Next, Yuka asked if he wanted Lily, and his virgin reaction gave him away. She relaxed him, but when he asked about the final boss of Simps, Yuka admitted she wasn't making any progress because Kensaku kept her in the friend zone. Akutsu then gave her some advice that actually managed to lift her spirit. Liz then told him to ask her out, but he hesitated because he didn't want to crack his friend's girl. Liz warned that she'd snitch if he failed his mission, so he grabbed Yuka's arm before leaving, and she blushed. At the same time, Lily was at home sick, and when she sneezed, she activated the collar by accident. When that happened, it made him flirt with the bartender like a fruit cup T-Pain, desperate for a bartender glizzy. Later, Akutsu walked Yuka home and apologized for snatching her arm like R. Kelly, but she told him not to worry and promised not to tell Lily before going home. Liz appeared and commended his riz. He blamed Lily for it, but convinced Liz he'd complete the mission, so she left. Akutsu then felt more confident and was determined to crack Lily at all costs. The following day, Lily realized how adorable she truly was and planned to use it to charm Akutsu. However, in class, she found herself flustered because Akutsu was sparklier than ever, and she started to find him attractive. Moments later, he poked her in the face and she blushed. She reminded him not to mess with her or she'd activate the collar, but he scoffed at her. She couldn't believe he ignored her like that, so she chose to switch to plan B. Later in the hallway, Lily adorably ran over asking where the teacher was, but he casually said he was in the office with no reaction. She realized he ignored her and ran off after thanking him. She wondered what was going on with her, but then it still worked on some soulless losers. Lily then put up her hair and claimed it was hot, but the Sigma ignored her and kept acting normal with his friends. Akutsu then told her to leave her hair up because it was cute in a ponytail, and that shook her to her core, so she decided to take a break because she almost fell into his trap. Afterwards, he walked into the hall, but she refused to take the L, so she went after him and ran across the walls before jumping on him, hoping to bounce on the pogo stick. However, he caught her hand mid-air and spun her around before asking if she was okay.
Hold up. Let him go.
She was instantly rizzed into submission, and she realized she got countered, so she became embarrassed and tried to escape, but Akutsu wanted to take her to the nurse first. Outside, Akutsu sat alone, happy that his plan worked, and he owed it all to his superior officer. Meanwhile, Liz was busy trying out cosplay costumes until she was caught. Back at school, Lily came out to inform Akutsu she had no injuries. She saw him drinking water and became thirsty, so he got up to buy her one, but she grabbed his and went for an indirect kiss. That made his domain expand, but his innocent performance made her blush with steam. She didn't expect that at all, but when she looked closer, he had a diabolical smirk on his face. She made another attempt but was struggling and realized she was in his clutches. However, her pride as an angel wouldn't let her admit defeat. She returned it instead, but then used her chains to spill it all over herself, revealing a soaking wet angel.
Yeah, boy.
Akutsu, being the alpha he was, immediately removed his sweater and covered her shoulders. Afterwards, she was cooked. Yuka then came over to check on her, and when she asked for a way to crush a man's heart, Yuka gave her an idea. After school, instead of demon hunting, Lily brought him over to her apartment to give him a spicy reward. When they got there, Akutsu was shocked to see Heaven put her in a luxury condo, while Hell put him in a Section 8 apartment. Upstairs, Lily came out looking absolutely scrumptious. He wasn't breaking, but it made his demon horn even more vicious. He immediately told her not to tempt him into making a movie, but she revealed she was fully dressed. When dinner was served, he wasn't expecting her to actually know how to cook, but wondered if it was devastatingly bad. After a bite, he was surprised that it actually tasted normal. Lily then explained pasta was her specialty and brought out the main dish, another plate of pasta. Apparently, she ate pasta twice a day 4 times a week. The kitty probably stank. When Akutsu suggested having a better balance, she asked what he usually ate, and he said bell peppers. Lily immediately started roasting him since it wasn't even a dish, but a single ingredient. She called him poor. When he said it could be a main or side dish, she asked if he was going to eat them whole. After eating, they decided to watch a movie and take a break from teasing each other. But while Akutsu wanted to watch a horror movie, Lily insisted on watching a romance instead. A couple minutes into the movie, Akutsu began to regret it because Lily started looking even finer. Additionally, the movie characters started cracking and clapping, which activated his Lil Wang. After shrinking back down, Akutsu looked over and locked eyes with the cutie before quickly looking away. She then decided to get drinks, but after getting up, she tripped, so Akutsu tried to help, only to end up laying over her. They both panicked, but instead of separating, Akutsu's demons took over his brain, so he leaned in, trying to get a smooch. Surprisingly, Lily calmly submitted to his riz, but right before he got a taste, her alarm went off. The shock snapped them back into their senses, so Akutsu decided to head out before he accidentally made a baby. As he walked home, he wondered what came over him. Lily did the same and wondered if she actually wanted a demon bone. The next day, Lily found herself out of focus because she'd spent all night thinking about Akutsu. Moments later, her brain melted and she found herself in a dream. Meanwhile, Akutsu noticed she was asleep and thought she was cute while snoring, but her face looked worse than he did with the wig, so he decided to focus on the lecture. By then, Lily realized she was in a dream because Akutsu appeared with an online dating sim option. However, her dream started glitching and she didn't understand the options, so she just picked one random button and hoped for the best. As all this happened, her body was seizuring uncontrollably, and Akutsu noticed, but after seeing her cute face, he left her alone. Moments later, Lily had gotten past the first few scenes and now planned to go on a date with Dream Akutsu because she believed it was the only way to wake up. When he showed up, she suddenly got flustered and couldn't even look his way because he looked too cool. After reminding herself she slayed demons on a daily basis, she faced him, but Akutsu looked even better than Sung Jin Woo. Suddenly, he slowly grabbed her cheeks and asked her to close her eyes. Lily's heart started pounding because she wanted this, and instead of refusing, she decided to know what it felt like to kiss a demon. However, a samurai suddenly killed him for touching a girl. Lily immediately rushed to his side, but he begged her not to cry for him and asked to see her smile one last time before croaking. The sight of Akutsu's tragic death crushed Lily's heart, so she started screaming until Akutsu and Yuka woke her up and asked if she was okay. After she looked at Akutsu, she blushed and headed to the nurse's office to rest. Minutes after entering, she heard Akutsu's voice and hid under the blanket before he came in. She immediately thought he was trying to take advantage, and as the sheets were pulled up, Lily actually wished he would spread them and feed her the demon rod. However, after feeling utterly disgusted with herself, she crawled out and Akutsu asked for her help while opening up his shirt. Lily quickly hid again, indecisive on whether or not to give it up, but instead of getting the kitty wet, she wrapped him up in chains and made him shake them like Cardi B, while calling him a fool for believing she would be so easy. She further mocked him by denying she would ever allow him to cosplay her for his freaky plans, but Akutsu thought she was stupid because he just wanted her help with the collar. This killed Lily's confidence, so she hid under the blanket again. Moments later, in class, Akutsu asked if there was a way to get rid of the Yakuza tattoo from the collar. Lily dismissed it and asked why he wanted to get rid of it all of a sudden. So Akutsu told her about his dream to visit the Sento baths and the beaches filled with baddies. Shocked, Lily asked about his mission from hell. Akutsu admitted he'd never felt this good before in his life. Since he came to the human realm, meeting new people and having new experiences had made his depressing life a lot better, so he wanted to enjoy as much of it as possible while still being loyal to his mission. He then said she probably couldn't relate since she'd always been in heaven, unlike demons who grew up in hell. Lily was silent, and this made Akutsu realize he was venting his problems to someone who didn't care. But surprisingly, Lily understood. She also agreed to help, but explained she could only change the color since removing it was dangerous. However, after he sat down, she began to change it, but her powers released a baddie who immediately started attacking them with Lily's scythe. Akutsu almost got sliced like Buggy, but he managed to dodge before asking Lily who this lunatic woman was. Lily then explained she was an anti-demon weapon called an avatar, and she'd actually inserted her into the tattoo while attaching his collar. This was meant to be her plan B if he ever decided to betray her. But the woman was attacking her as well, which meant something went wrong while she was changing the collar's color. As she rampaged, the Baldy walked in demanding to know who was making all that ruckus. He also got attacked, but Lily snatched her up in the chains while Akutsu pulled him away. She then told Akutsu to get him to safety because she couldn't hold her for long, but Akutsu took too long, showing sympathy to the 50-year-old geezer, so Lily pulled him away herself. They then took the battle outside to the schoolyard, and after the avatar followed them, Lily put up a barrier to keep outsiders out. She used her chains again and ordered Akutsu to finish her off, but she easily broke through her chains. When the avatar attacked again, Lily got a glimpse of her back and realized someone else had taken control of it. While she struggled to deal with the discovery, Akutsu decided to get serious, but the avatar blew out his spine with a legendary kick stronger than Bruce Lee's. However, Akutsu got back up, but Lily was still stuck from the shock, and the avatar was about to take her head. Lily looked at the avatar's eyes with tears in hers, but Akutsu called out to her. Fortunately, Akutsu blocked the attack and continued to do battle while reminding Lily that she couldn't die here. This brought her back, so she came up with a new plan and informed Akutsu she wasn't the one controlling it. Akutsu then rushed in and blew up a dust cloud in her face. Then he came from behind, but the avatar chopped down on his shoulder. However, it was just an illusion by Lily for the real Akutsu to get close enough and pin the avatar down while Lily purified the spell controlling her. After the last snake was removed, Lily restored the avatar, but lost consciousness afterward. Meanwhile, her older sister named Aine was surprised that Lily was strong enough to suppress the avatar since she wasn't before, so she sent their brother to check on Lily. Much later, Akutsu brought Lily home to her bed, and after looking at her cute face, his glizzy did another domain expansion, so he decided to leave before he did something he regretted. However, Lily suddenly grabbed his shirt and asked him to stay. Akutsu panicked and thought she also wanted his red lightsaber, but after noticing her trembling, he remembered they'd both almost lost their lives and decided to wait. After sitting down, he started wondering if he'd fallen for the enemy angel. As he thought about his feelings, his doppelganger suddenly appeared to talk, making Akutsu wonder if he was actually dreaming. The clone then told him to stop acting, and it was clear he'd already fallen in love with an angel, but Akutsu refused to admit it. The clone explained that Lily only asked him to stay because she also liked him, which meant this was the perfect opportunity to manipulate the angelic kitty. After thinking for a bit, Akutsu diabolically agreed, but then they saw the sheets wiggling in the air and thought she'd overheard them. The next moment, Baldy Diddy came out and attacked Akutsu. Meanwhile, Lily woke up, and after taking a look around, she was confused about how she got home. She then headed to the bathroom to change without noticing a bum on the floor and changed before coming back in to find a soulless simp knocked out. She was shocked and wondered why he was there, but then remembered asking him to stay after their big fight. Lily immediately turned into She-Hulk, but after noticing the cut he got from the fight, she recalled how he risked his life to protect her, so she shrank back. Then, she patched his wound and asked why he would risk his life for her, but Akutsu was enjoying his wet dream. So Lily decided to reward him. She considered giving him a hug, since that was what she promised when they first met. But the thought of getting her melons squeezed made her panic. However, she didn't want to go back on her word because she was a proud angel. As she tried to think of something else, Akutsu's dream went from a straight line to Rainbow Wonderland because the teacher was now trying to teach him the ways of the back in. As he took the lesson, his real body also took it in, and Lily heard what he was whispering, so she decided to sit between his legs. Moments later, she regretted it, but Akutsu pulled her in to let her feel the demon meat, which opened and destroyed the heavenly floodgates. She still struggled to hold it in when he whispered a compliment about her lovely smell. Suddenly, Lily felt his arms trembling. This made her realize he was still in shock from the battle, and after seeing the collar tattoo, she recalled his request to change it and rewarded him by changing its color. Just then, she felt a light breeze, then spotted the apology note for smashing her window since he had no money. This made her wonder how he carried her home, and after realizing he held her close to his pecs, she got flustered again. The next morning, Akutsu woke up to find himself chained up, so he broke free before also noticing Lily had patched his wound up. After he left, Lily woke up, expecting to finally be rid of the demonic plague, only to find Akutsu in the kitchen making breakfast. When she asked why, he said he needed food fuel and her fridge was packed. Instead, Lily asked why he also cooked for her. He said it was his way of saying thank you for wrapping up his wound. But Lily claimed she was just doing her job as his master. He still thanked her regardless and served the pasta, so she joined him to eat before they headed to school. On the way out of the building, Akutsu said goodbye, which surprised her. So Lily reminded him school was the other way. However, Akutsu said he'd be skipping the first period so he could take a shower at home. After Lily called him filthy, Akutsu reminded her he'd just saved her yesterday. But Lily informed him he should also be thankful because his collar would have exploded if she died. Akutsu panicked, thinking his life was now connected to hers, but she told him to relax because she was just kidding. She also told him how she changed the color last night, so Akutsu grabbed her hands to thank her. However, Yuka and the soulless loser spotted them and thought they'd just finished a night of relentless clapping. Later that morning, Akutsu meets Lily and asks why she asked for a meeting before class. Lily then reminds him of what Yuka and Kanaku saw before he left. She actually chased after them, hoping to explain, but by the time she made it to class, everyone had already heard the rumor. They immediately swarmed her and started demanding answers. When Aku asks how the rumor spread so fast, Lily explains that Kensaku was apparently traumatized and kept murmuring about what he saw while slowly having his soul drained. Everyone in class heard, and of course Yuka helped, made it worse. As Lily keeps freaking out, Akutsu suddenly realizes that every girl in school probably sees him as a creep. He panics because it will affect his mission to find Hell's new leader. With trembling hands, he decides to work with Lily to fix this mess. Minutes later, Lily is back in class cooking up lies to keep the gossip-hungry vultures at bay. However, the main problem is Yuka, who is still talking about what she saw to other bimbos. Just then, she gets her cue from Akutsu and says she has to get a drink. After meeting him at the door, she fakes a smile and asks if he is okay after what happened yesterday. Akutsu also forces a smile and says he is before thanking her for all the help. However, after Lily runs off, the entire class gets irritated because they easily saw through their Timu acting. As they try to interrogate Akutsu, a classmate named Koyamatsu tells everyone to stop, and they actually listen because she is the smartest rom-com nerd in class and the only one good enough to see through lies. Surprisingly, she says Akutsu and Lily might be telling the truth because they were both talking like casual classmates, not secret lovers who just got caught. This makes them all believe that Akutsu isn't actually getting sloppy-toppy in her condo, and after fighting some randos, he got trapped in stone until she found him early this morning. This is what Lily told Yuka and the others earlier, so they decide to let it slide. But Koyamatsu suggests that they continue watching the lovebirds in case they slip up again. Just then, the girls begin to wonder how he even got trapped in stone. So, Akutsu walks to the window and starts blowing granite off his jacket to make it more believable. With the girls finally taken care of, Akutsu tries to take a breath, but then Yuya shows up with Kensaku, who still looks like he needs a sip of holy water. During lunch, Lily continues watching Yuka suspiciously and wonders why she suddenly wants to eat lunch together. Just then, she feeds Lily. And while the guys are all surprised, Lily realizes that she's planning to expose them again. Just as she thinks Yuka is about to make her feed Akutsu, Yuka does it herself, which catches everyone off guard. Minutes before lunch, Koyamatsu explained that the best way to figure out the truth was to make one of them jealous, and it's working like a charm because Lily is about to crash out. Yuka quickly sits back to avoid looking suspicious, and she also offers to feed Lily, who then fixes her face and says she is okay. Moments later, Yuka watches them closely and starts to think there is nothing going on. However, after taking a closer look at Lily, Yuka realizes that she is about to break, so she comes up with another plan and asks Akutsu to hang out on Saturday. A few days later, they are at the mall shopping, but Akutsu is still wondering what Yuka really wants with him. She notices this and swears that she just wanted to hang out while flashing her jugs in his face. Naturally, the mummy milkers melt his brain, so he decides to enjoy himself since he doesn't have demon hunting work with Lily. Meanwhile, Lily starts losing her cool while stalking them, and Yuya thanks her for bringing him along. She then claims that it was just because she is worried about Yuka, but Yuya can tell that she just doesn't want to get caught watching them. That also explains why she invited Kensaku, who currently believes he is on a date with Lily.
Lock him up! Put him in fucking prison! Solitary confinement!
She quickly reminds him that he is the fail-safe in case Akutsu and Yuka don't believe her lies. But then Yuya starts saying that Akutsu is really enjoying his time with Yuka. Lily's heart almost explodes, but Yuya keeps making her jealous and enjoys every second of the torment. After following them around for hours, Yuya stops and tells Lily to just come clean about her feelings if she is this concerned by Yuka's melons. He says the same to Kensaku, but the shameless simp acts clueless, so Yuya wishes them luck and heads out. After Kensaku gets shy and runs away, Lily finds an empty chair to sit and really starts to think about what Yuya said. Just then, she hears Yuka and Akutsu coming closer, so she jumps behind the bench. Yuka also spots the bench and decides to sit there, which puts Lily in a bad spot because her cheeks were getting soaked by dirty water. As she wonders how to escape, Yuka starts asking Akutsu about her. Lily gets embarrassed, but her ears also perk up as Akutsu starts by admitting that he thinks she looks cute. Yuka then asks what he likes about her, and he starts by calling her kind and explaining how committed she can be to a task. By then, Lily's head is just overheated, but Yuka goes a step further by asking Akutsu if he wants to date her. Lily's ears perk up again, but this time, Akutsu says they can never actually date because of personal goals. This shatters Lily's heart, so she leaves, but Akutsu hears the water splashing. Fortunately, Kensaku shows up at that moment, and when they ask why he is here, he tries to explain that he was here with Yuya and Lily, but Yuka goes dark and attacks him. After beating him like an angry wife who found out he was cheating at the bar, Yuka decides to call it a day and leaves with him. Later that night, Lily is in bed thinking about Akutsu, while he also wonders if he really feels that way about dating Lily. Hours later, Lily's fever gets severe, causing her avatar to come out again. The following day in class, word spreads that Lily is sick. Moments later, Akutsu gets startled when the avatar walks in and immediately readies himself for a battle. Everyone else notices, so the boys ask if he knows her, but Akutsu is frightened that she might just behead them medieval style. Just then, she introduced herself as Lilia, Lily's sister, and she came to attend class on her behalf. Just then, the old Baldy walks in. So, Lilia explains her plan to substitute for Lily, but he rejects it and says it doesn't work that way. However, Lilia hits him with a death glare that reminds him of when she almost sent him up to Jesus Christ. He then grants her permission to stay, but Akutsu is still terrified. So, Lilia especially thanks him for caring for Lily and tells him to keep assisting her with a threatening look. Minutes later, classes begin, and Akutsu notices that she has been struggling with a pencil, so he starts laughing until she tries to blow his brains out. Hours later during sports, the others start chatting about Lilia being a baddie, while Akutsu wonders how they would respond if they knew that she was a battle-hungry junkie. Minutes later, Akutsu gets into a guarded stance, planning to show Lilia some of that demon-pumping Lily loves, but she slams the ball on his pickle, and the pain makes him collapse. Much later, Akutsu is on a bench, then Lilia appears and apologizes about her assault the other day. She knows someone else is responsible, but she still feels bad for attacking them. Akutsu tells her not to worry about it since it wasn't her fault. So, Lilia joins him on the bench. Akutsu says she resembles Lily a lot. Lilia explains that avatars adopt the personalities and qualities of their masters, but this doesn't explain how she has massive melon cannons. However, the main reason she came to school is that she can sense whatever Lily feels, and something about coming to this school is making her much happier than she ever was in heaven. She came to discover what that is. Lilia then says he is the reason Lily felt sick, and when he asks what she is talking about, she tells him to search his heart. After Akutsu insists that he has no clue what she is talking about, Lilia starts by saying that he has always known about Lily's feelings for him, but he still went on a date with some random bimbo. Before Akutsu can explain, Yuka shows up and admits that she heard them before asking for a favor. Minutes later, they are outside Lily's apartment complex, and after Yuka thanks them for tagging along, she decides to call Lily's apartment. Using this opportunity, Lilia tries to sneak away, but Akutsu grabs her arm and asks if she is escaping because Lily doesn't actually know about her little excursion to school. And after saying her face was the obvious giveaway, Akutsu says she has no option but to follow him inside. Upstairs, Lily opens the door and thanks them both for coming, but asks who this random girl was and almost gets a stroke when she sees Lilia's face. Minutes later, Lilia serves them some tea, but Lily asks if she caused any trouble at school. Yuka then explains how renowned Lilia already is at school, and how everyone was surprised to learn that she's as hot as her sister. Since Lilia is the older sister, she starts revealing all the juicy details of Lily's life, like how she starts every morning by washing her cooter for Akutsu. Lily tries to stop the humiliation, but Lilia continues talking until she threatens to send her back to heaven. Lily finally takes a hint and runs off before she's deactivated, so Lily decides to get more tea and uses that chance to get some air. Moments later, Yuka tells Akutsu to go help Lily since she is still sick. Akutsu then heads to the kitchen right on time to catch Lily as she almost faints, but Lily smacks his hand away and continues preparing the tea, which surprises him. She then asks how his date with Yuka went, and after thinking about it, Akutsu admits that she was more enjoyable than he expected. Naturally, Lily gets angry, but she also wonders why, since he was a demon scum, then pushes him to leave. Just then, the fever heats up and she passes out again. She wakes up later to see Yuka, who then explains that Akutsu carried her inside before saying that she has to head out now. Afterwards, Yuka meets Akutsu in the living room and tells him to keep the glizzy tucked, then heads out. But Akutsu starts freaking out as he recalls what he said on the bench. He realizes that Lily was spying on them the entire time. Additionally, he has to go check on her since Lilia also left. So, he quietly enters her room and sees that she is having a nightmare. When he tries to leave, she grabs his jacket again. Just then, Lily wakes up, and after seeing his jacket in her hand, she gets embarrassed and tells him to go. Akutsu refuses and says he will wait in the living room until Lilia returns, and this makes Lily warm inside. Then Akutsu asks if she knows why Lilia appeared, and he also explains what she said about feeling sorry. He further admits that they are very similar, and this makes Lily excited. So she boasts about how Lilia is basically an extension of her true nature, when Akutsu suddenly says that there would be no war if all angels were like her. Lily gets embarrassed again. In response, she says the war would be over if all demons were like him. Lily then takes the opportunity to ask if he can hold her hand while she sleeps because she might have another nightmare. Akutsu gets flustered and tries to decline, but then he agrees. As they interlock fingers and warm their juices, Lilia walks in and asks what they are doing. They both get terrified and try to play it off by asking if she got the cleaning supplies. After saying yes, Lilia reminds them that she feels everything Lily feels, which is how she knew that something was going on because she's also moist. Lily panics thinking she just got revealed and crashed out. Later that night, she recalls holding Akutsu's hand and spends the rest of the night happy. The next day, she meets up with Akutsu again to go demon hunting and offers to get him a treat for checking on her. As Akutsu thinks of what to get, Lily hears a familiar voice and is surprised as a sexy Giga-Chad named Zwei approaches them.
Lilia is still frozen in shock, wondering why her brother suddenly showed up. Akutsu is also wondering how her brother is so hot, but then his head connects the dots as he realizes that Zwei has to be an angel as well. As he starts panicking, Zwei asks who he is, but he starts muttering, scared that he is about to get decimated by Gojo's low-budget doppelganger. Thankfully, Lily calmly explains that they are just friendly classmates, so Zwei properly introduces himself before asking Akutsu to keep being friends with Lily. As Akutsu thanks the anime gods for sparing him, Zwei says he has to talk to Lily alone since they haven't met in a long time. Akutsu has no issues with it, so they head out, but he notices a sad look on Lily's face. Minutes later, Akutsu finds a spot to rest and thanks his stars that Zwei didn't see through his little panic attack. Then he wonders what Lily must be going through and convinces himself that she should be just fine since Zwei is her brother, not some psychotic dictator. Elsewhere in the city, Zwei has just created a barrier to keep regular folks out because they won't want to see his little sister on all fours for him like he is some evil harem lord. As Lily does her best to look respectful, Zwei commends her on making a friend and asks if there is really nothing going on with Akutsu. After Lily insists that he is a nobody she just likes talking to, Zwei says he doesn't really care, so Lily raises her head up to ask why he suddenly came to Earth. The next moment, Zwei's sword pierces the ground in front of her and almost takes off her head in the process. He then says she has to ask for permission before getting up, or he might just carve out her cute little face. Lily immediately apologizes, so he absorbs the sword and says it would be better to talk with her face up. He then heads back to the bench and says he actually came on behalf of Ainad before asking how she defeated Lilia despite the fact that Ainad blessed her. Lily quickly recalls how both she and Akutsu had to risk their lives before she disabled Lilia. Zwei then says that the surprising part was that she defeated Lilia way too fast for someone acting on her own. Lily says that she only summoned Lilia out of curiosity, and when she attacked, she somehow managed to disable her quickly. She also shows him a scar she claims is from the fight to show that it wasn't so easy, but Zwei is still doubtful and asks if that is really a recent injury. After Lily assures him that she is telling the truth, Zwei decides to let it go, which makes Lily breathe a little easier. However, he then reminds her that she was sent to Earth to defeat demons, and although she has been doing it, she only goes after beast-type demons, which makes no sense since there should be a couple of humanoid demons around. When he asks if she is plotting something, Lily assures him that she would never go against them. It's just that humans humanoid demons are a lot harder to hunt. Zwei agrees and says she is probably too weak anyway, but he still asks if she is planning something against them. He admits that he and Aina have been a little worried about her loyalty, especially because Aina has done some pretty awful things to her. But Lily insists that she would never betray them. Happy Zwei finally backs off and decides to take her word for it, but just as Lily thinks the interrogation is over, Zwei asks if she really lost control of Lilia after the summoning and took her down all alone. Lily says yes again, but then Zwei explains that Aina actually set a trap in Lilia to test her. The trap was set in a way that Lilia would only be summoned if a demon was nearby, which proves that Lily has been lying about stopping her alone. Before Lily can say another word, Zwei charges in and pins her to the ground before threatening to get violent if she doesn't stop lying through her teeth. Lilia senses the danger and tries to help, but she gets chained down. Lily panics, and with tears building up, she prays for Akutsu to come save her. On a nearby rooftop, Akutsu has just managed to stop himself from attacking Zwei for obvious reasons. He tells himself that Lily is definitely okay and turns to leave, but the thought of Zwei's menacing face keeps playing in his mind. This makes him remember that angels have always been cruel beings, and he never should have gotten close to Lily because she is just like them. He then calls Liz to ask for backup, but before he can explain the situation, his conscience pricks him, so he lunges straight towards Zwei. After the dust settles, Zwei is surprised to see him and realizes that he has been watching them from a distance. He then puts two and two together, saying that Akutsu must be a demon since he felt the need to hide instead of saying something when they first met. His decision to protect Lily also shows that he is the demon she was with when Lilia went berserk. After he suddenly attacks, Akutsu narrowly evades using his powers, but then Lily ties him down and asks why he came despite knowing that he doesn't even have full access to his powers to fight. Akutsu says he just couldn't bear to see her cry, but then Lily breaks down and says he should have stayed back because now they can't avoid Zwei's rage. Zwei agrees and says she has to be punished, but then he decides to keep his mouth shut about everything if Akutsu manages to land a single hit. Akutsu agrees and immediately attacks, but Zwei blocks him and counters with an attack of his own. Surprisingly, Akutsu's demon skin breaks the swords, so Zwei commends him before summoning his avatars to pin Akutsu down. As Akutsu struggles to get free, Zwei calls Lily to his side and asks how she made Akutsu loyal to her because she definitely couldn't win him over with her hideous body. Surprised, Akutsu asks what he is talking about, so Zwei decides to show him by ripping up Lily's socks. She immediately drops to her knees, and Akutsu loses it, demanding to know how Zwei can treat his own sister like this. After saying that he hasn't seen anything yet, Zwei picks Lily's skin with his sword and rips it up as well, revealing her true skin under the fake one she created with her chains. As Lily begs Akutsu to look away, Zwei explains that she has always had this ugly-looking crest wrapped around her body. He also makes Lily reveal her wings again and starts laughing at her, which confuses Akutsu since her wings look pretty good. The next moment, Zwei slices her wings in half, revealing that Lily has been using her chains to pretend. He further explains how an angel's wings are proof of their strength, and Lily is on the same level as a pigeon. After he shows Akutsu what a real angel's wings should look like, Akutsu takes another look at Lily. Seeing her look so defeated breaks something in him, causing his demon powers to fully take over. As Zwei continues making fun of Lily, Akutsu sends one of his avatars crashing into a fence, causing her body to break apart. Zwei gets shocked and turns back to see Akutsu, who has completely lost it and obliterates his second avatar. The last two immediately combine their attacks to crush Akutsu's head, but he takes the hit like it was nothing and stuffs them both into the hard concrete. Then, Zwei watches in shock as he sprouts 6 dark, pulsating wings out of his back. He immediately attacks, but Akutsu grabs his sword like a piece of paper and sends him crashing into the wire fence. Upon seeing this, Lily panics and tries to stop him, but Akutsu blazes right past her and attacks Zwei until he starts leaking blood. As Lily starts calling out to Akutsu to stop his mad rampage, Zwei wonders how such a powerful demon exists and why he cares so much about Lily. He then takes a trip down memory lane to a certain day when he tried peeping on Lily to know what she was up to. After Akutsu's punches snap him back to reality, he accepts his fate, thinking this is how it's going to end, but Lily jumps in front of him and tells Akutsu to stop. As she tries to give the boring good guy speech, Akutsu smacks the daylight out of her, which pisses Zwei, but he is too powerless to stop Akutsu. When Lily stops him from attacking again, Akutsu attacks her instead, but she dodges it and wonders why her collar can't control him anymore. While all this is happening, Liz is already making arrangements to come help Akutsu because his call scared the piss out of her. By then, Zwei has just managed to get back on his feet, so Lily joins him so they can stop Akutsu. Zwei then explains that Akutsu's wings store energy just like theirs, and he notices because one of the wings vanished after Akutsu stomped him into the fence. When he decides to take out 4 wings and asks Lily to handle the last one, she gets surprised that he wants to help her stop Akutsu's rampage. Zwei then admits that he wanted to exorcise Akutsu, but something about his power is intriguing. The next moment, Akutsu attacks, but they dodge it and hold him down with Lily's chains. Then, Zwei attacks again, but Akutsu easily overpowers him and shoves him into the ground. However, this was Zwei's plan plan, so he activates his wings and neutralizes 4 of Akutsu's. This restores some of his sanity, but he is still pissed, so Lily charges in for the final wing. While wrapping it up with her chains, she remembers that she also fought him like this when they first met, but after all the time they have spent together, she can tell that he is a lot more than some blood-hungry demon. After she takes out the last wing and begs him to stop, she passes out. Thankfully, Akutsu carries her and walks over to Zwei, who immediately starts running his mouth again. Akutsu tells him to zip it and says he could hear them working together, so he won't rip Zwei's stupid face apart. However, he promises to go all out if he ever shows up to torment Lily, like he just did. After Zwei agrees to back off, Akutsu turns to leave and thanks Zwei for getting him under control. While Zwei lies there, rethinking his life choices and the beating he just took, Akutsu takes Lily back to her place, but he starts panicking because he can't take her clothes off. As he tries to think of a better way out of this mess, Lilia finally shows up and starts stripping Lily right in front of him, so he runs off. Minutes later, Lilia is done changing Lily, so she tells Akutsu to stop hiding because they need to talk. After she jumps off the balcony and offers him a hand, Akutsu notices the bruise on her wrists and waits until she pulls him up before asking what caused it. Lilia then explains that during the fight, Lily stopped her from coming out to help because she knew what Zwei would do. As a result, Lilia had to watch helplessly as Lily was trembling with fear. Upon hearing this, Akutsu asks about his reaction because he can't fully remember what happened after he went nuts. After Lilia explains it all to him, he gets disappointed with himself for attacking Lily, but Lilia knows he has nothing to worry about because Lily didn't have a single ounce of fear in her body after he showed up. She then tells him that Lily has been suffering since she was little because her family has always been extremely strict. Just to gain their approval, she spent years grinding to the absolute limit, and even then, she was barely acknowledged. Her current position only came after even more years of grueling work and suffering. With that said, Lilia blames Akutsu for ruining all of Lily's hard work. She insists that she could have handled everything on her own, but after she pushes him down, Akutsu gets surprised because she is crying, but it's tears of joy. Lilia then thanks him because his actions have seriously helped Lily. This makes Akutsu a lot more satisfied with himself, since he was worried that the rampage ruined things for Lily. The next moment, Lilia tells him to rub her head to console her, but Akutsu panics, thinking she is clearly delirious. However, Lilia continues asking for it, and after taking a look at her melons, Akutsu starts losing his sense of reason. The moment he touches her head, a camera flash blinds him, and Lilia immediately grabs it to see if the photo came out good. As Akutsu wonders what just happened, she threatens to show Lily if he ever tries to leave. Akutsu then reminds her that she is in the photo as well, which means Lily will get pissed at her as well. As she comes up with a new plan, Akutsu wonders why she is so obsessed with protecting Lily, because it clearly goes beyond just being her avatar. Just then, Lilia tells him to squeeze her melons for juice as a reward for fighting Zwei, but he declines because it's an obvious trap. Hours later, Lily finally wakes up and wonders why she is in a strange apartment with nothing but a shirt covering her sacred assets. After she spots Akutsu brushing his mouth, she realizes that it's his place and thinks he is cleaning up after using her plots for pleasure all night long. Akutsu notices the staring, so he asks if she is okay, and she responds by trying to take his head off. While Akutsu drops in fear, Lily completely flips out and almost chops his head off, but Lilia shows up and assures her that Akutsu didn't see anything. After she finally calms down, Akutsu makes her a cup of coffee and explains how he let Zwei off with a warning. Lily then tries to ask about her transformation, but Akutsu stops her and says he barely knows what happened back there. This makes Lily a bit relieved, but then she remembers that he still brought her to his place and asks if he plans to have his way with her eventually. After Akutsu explains that Zwei might send backup to her place, she realizes her mistake. However, this also reminds her that they are not completely out of trouble. Akutsu, being a powerful demon, makes this a lot more complicated, so she wonders if heaven will let her off if she claims she was just studying him for information. However, after Akutsu thanks her for getting him back to his senses, Lily realizes that she will never be able to betray him like that. Just then, Akutsu says it should be safe for her to go back home, but Lily refuses, claiming it's safer if she spends the night. Akutsu panics as usual and asks if she is in her right senses, to which Lily explains that she needs to lie low for the rest of the night because angels don't give up that easily. Akutsu complains that there is only one bed, so Lily tells him to sleep on the floor before summoning Lilia to go find some sleeping gear for him. Several minutes later, Lilia is with supplies for Lily and extra sheets for Akutsu, and after she leaves, Lily enters the bathroom for a shower. Akutsu then takes the opportunity to call Liz, but she is busy trying out new outfits for the mission to save him. While Lily spends eons getting ready for bed, Akutsu gets cozy on the cold floor before she finally joins him in the room. Much later, Akutsu has already fallen asleep, so Lily kneels beside him and admits that she was terrified when Zwei attacked her, although she knew that he meant well as her older brother. She also admits that she deeply wished for him to show up, and when he charged and ready to fight for her, she felt so happy and hasn't stopped thinking about him ever since. To show her appreciation, she leans in for a kiss on the cheek, but Akutsu turns over, so she goes in for the real thing. The next day, they both end up late for school, and after the usual banter over who caused it, they run into Yuka and the boys. As usual, Kensaku freaks out because they are walking together again, but as they all talk, Lily realizes that she wants to keep living like this because they have all made her life feel so much better. Much later, in class, Akutsu Akutsu starts his creepy staring again, but when Lily notices, he tells her that she left her ribbon at his place. After school, she texts him, saying she will come get it at his place because it's the perfect opportunity to finish what she started last night. However, after showing up, she hears him struggling with someone and thinks he is in trouble. The next moment, she freezes in shock because Liz is currently smothering his glizzy with her massive racks. Meanwhile, Zui calls Aina and assures her that she has nothing to worry about because Lily is still the same wingless weakling she was in heaven.
If you enjoyed this recap and want to see more, hit subscribe and turn on post notifications.